Imagine being locked inside a heavily guarded Nazi prison camp, surrounded by fences, armed guards, searchlights, and miles of enemy territory. Now imagine deciding that the only way to escape is to disappear underground. This is the true story of the Great Escape, one of the most extraordinary prison breaks of World War II. In 1944, deep inside Nazi Germany, hundreds of Allied airmen were being held at Stalag Luft III, a prisoner of war camp specifically designed to hold captured Allied pilots and airmen. The camp was built to make escape almost impossible. The Germans had learned from previous attempts. The barracks were elevated above the ground, making tunnels easier to detect. Guards constantly watched the prisoners, and microphones were buried beneath the camp to detect the sound of digging. But the prisoners had something the guards could never completely control: determination. Inside the camp, a group of Allied prisoners carefully studied every weakness in the German security system. They knew they couldn't simply climb over the fences, overpower the guards, or run across open ground. So they created a much more ambitious plan. They would dig 3 tunnels, giving them the names Tom, Dick, and Harry. If the Germans discovered one tunnel, the others could still be used. Building a tunnel inside a prison camp, however, was incredibly difficult. The prisoners had almost no proper equipment, so they used knives, spoons, pieces of metal, and whatever materials they could secretly obtain. Wood from the barracks was used to support the tunnels, beds were dismantled, and clothing was turned into ropes and other equipment. Even the soil they removed became a dangerous problem because they had to dispose of it without attracting attention. The prisoners developed ingenious ways to secretly scatter the dirt around the camp while appearing to perform ordinary activities. Hundreds of prisoners became involved in the operation. Some dug the tunnels, others created fake documents, produced civilian clothing and disguises, studied maps, and monitored German guards and their routines. Everyone had a role, and everyone understood that if the Germans discovered the operation, the consequences could be deadly. Eventually, the Germans discovered Tom, and the tunnel was destroyed. Dick was later abandoned because its location had become too risky, but the prisoners still had Harry. Watch full video, link in bio.